there are a plethora of videos online teaching you how to be more masculine, to do things in a more masculine manner, how to look more masculine, how to text girls in a more masculine manner, and all that crap. But they're really like just two main things you need to do if you want to become more masculine. I'm going to go through them in this video. Now, it's not really two main things, it's more like two brackets, but they do expand into more things. But if you get these two principles correct, then you will be more masculine. And the first one, which is something I've been probably beating this drum for like the last couple of videos, is it's having like one main field of competence that you focus on over a long period of time, right? So just find one goal that like you are wholeheartedly like completely focus on. It consumes you, your purpose, if you want to call it that, and you just focus on it over a long period of time. It's just you're obsessed with it, right? I'll give you one example, and I know you using YouTube Shorts comments, especially by women, is like it's not the greatest source of evidence, right? But there's this guy called, I think his name is called Rainbolt, but basically it was just like this. He'd make short form content where he'd play this game called GeoGuessr, which is basically just a game where they'll pick like a random spot on Google Maps and you have to guess where you are. And it's a video game, like pretty dumb, but like he got like so good at that. And there was this woman who commented, and she was like, there's nothing more attractive than a man who's just so focused on like this one thing and he's so good at it. And it brings the point home. Like I said it in the last video. Jordan Peterson said that in all his years of like studying data and everything like that, he hasn't found a more direct correlation than one that you get between a man's like ability to be successful with women and his material success, right? Or how good he is in his career, how much money he has, basically. And I know this is kind of veering into how to attract women, but it comes back to the point of like, if you want to be more masculine, it's usually because you want to learn how to attract women. But yeah, that kind of thing makes you very, very masculine. If you have like one purpose and you focus on it completely. I want you to think about all the guys you've seen, all the people you've seen that are most successful with women around the world, right? The people that are seen as like your masculine figures, right? Apart from like people who are just like handsome, and it's a very small proportion of men who are like handsome. But for the ones that are like really successful that aren't handsome, it's usually because they're really good at something. Think about like your athletes, billionaires, like businessmen and singers, whatever it is. They've got a field of competency and they just focus completely on that, and they get so good at it because they're outstanding, right? And one of the features of being a man and being masculine, and it's competition, right? Climbing the hierarchy and just doing something better than other people. And as a man, it's usually because you provide more value to society than other men, basically. And that's the main pillar of masculinity, right? Like no one can tell you anything if you're like at the top of the pyramid, right? I just want you to picture like a competency hierarchy, and you're at the top of that hierarchy. No one can tell you anything. Like you're the man. Like I'm better than you in this field. Like there's nothing anyone can say to you. And that's another feature of being masculine, is that when you're so good at something, you have like that self-confidence within you that you're not like getting your attention getting taken away by many different things, and you're not like turning around like, oh, what's this new shiny object or whatever, because you know what your purpose is, like you're good at this and you've been working so hard over a long period of time that you've gotten so good, right? And then the second thing is your appearance and how you look. And again, this ties in with the first point that I was making about, you're more confident, so you look more confident, right? And again, this is one of Jordan Peterson's 12 rules. He said that stand up straight with your shoulders back, and posture. Posture is very important because, again, if you want to know the reason why it's so important, you can go read Jordan Peterson's book and why he says you should stand up straight with your shoulders back. But, dude, you just look more confident, you look more competent, and it just exudes masculinity, right? And, okay, there's the posture thing, and then obviously like hit the gym. You want to have like a big frame. That ties in with posture, by the way, because you just look bigger. A feature of masculinity is just taking up space and being like the leader. And again, this ties in so well with the first point I made about just having a field of competency and getting so good at that, because you've got this assurance about you and you look like a leader, and you have the capabilities of being a leader because you've shown that you can get so good at something. You have an ability to be focused, right? But yeah, I'm beating the drum of the first point. But the second point, like I said, posture, get into good shape, and stop like being like, there's this one of the points I learned about having good posture is that like you're not, when you're like tall like this, when you're sitting up straight, right, whenever something happens, it's kind of like a swift turn like this. Whereas if you're sitting down like this and something happens, it's like, oh, you look like a little puppy, like just being excited by everything. You get what I mean? Like things, it's small things like that, but it makes a big difference. I actually learned that example I just gave you, I learned it from Brett Maverick. But yeah, that's very important, like in terms of how you look, just having good posture, having a good frame, like getting into the gym and everything, and just stop like being so reactive, right? Just slow down your movements and everything, and slow down your speech, and yeah, just chill. But again, I said, like, a lot of that just comes from from taking step number one into very seriously, like just being very good at something. You get that self-confidence, and everything else kind of just falls into place in terms of masculinity. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to join the Self-Improvement Brotherhood, and until next time, I'll see you boys.